What's up, guys? Today's video I'm going to break down how to plant a food plot in general. Reason being, somebody had asked. They really didn't know, and they said there's a lot of confusing information out there, and there really is. We have turkeys gobbling in the background. It's awesome. I think we're beginning of March right now. The cows are mooing and the turkeys are gobbling. Very cool. I'm excited about that. But when it comes to planting food plots, I like to do it the traditional way, which is disking the fields, plowing, tilling, whatever you have to do to turn that soil over, get it tilled up, and get good soil seed contact. In today's age of food plots, with so much information, YouTube, Facebook, and just turkeys, man, just everything out there, there's a lot of new ways to plant food plots. And you have this rolling method, you have the crimping method, you have no-till. All that stuff is good, and it's good for certain situations. In general, okay, I'm going to be disking the fields. When you start getting into this rolling and crimping methods, a lot of people are confused about it. They're doing this method, they plant too thick, they don't plant thick enough, they don't have a crimper, they have a roll, all these different types of equipment you need to do that type of thing, and the amount of chemical applications you need is very confusing, and people are screwing up and they're failing at food plots. If you stick to the traditional method, I believe you will have more success. I don't want to get into the argument of if no-till is healthier for the soil compared to disking the plots. I'm not going to get into that because I have shown over many years of videos on this channel, hundreds of videos, where I start out with a soil pH of 4.6 and with very little nutrition, and 3 years later I have high organic and CEC matter, and the fertility levels is all skyrocketed, pH is perfect. So I don't want to get into that part, other than my food plots turn out great, and so can yours if you follow the traditional way of planting it. And we'll break it down in simple terms. If you have a brand new food plot, brand new ground that has not been ever worked over, okay, and let's say you're just going to plant buckwheat or whatever it is for that case, any annual that you're going to plant in the springtime on a brand new piece, okay, you need to control the weeds. You're going to have to come in there and spring green up, and you're going to have to spray it with glyphosate and a 2,4-D mixture, okay? You're going to mix those two together, and you're going to spray those green and growing plants in that area that you want to plant. Reason being is when you go to till that over, it'll be easier to work up the ground if you spray and kill that thatch and vegetation there first. Typically what's going to happen is you're going to wait about 2 weeks. You're going to come in there and use whatever method that you have. We used Groundhog Max on the back of a ATV. We've used tillers. We've rented tractors with tillers on it. We've tilled. We've rented skid steers, okay, with tillers on it. You don't need to do all that. It's just what we've did. You can use ATV implements. There's a lot of good ones out there. Furminator, you have black bore, you have all these different types of ATV discs, plows that you can use and buy and plant. A lot of times if you're planting smaller seeds such as clover, you can spray that area and take a drag harrow that we have bought one from Tractor Supply and just drag that back and forth, and it roughs up that ground enough to get that clover seed in there. Now if you're doing soybeans or larger seeds, then you may have to rough that first couple inches of soil up in order to get good soil seed contact. Okay, once that vegetation is dead, you're going to disc all this up. Whatever method that you have to do that, you are going to, obviously before all this is done, you're going to get a soil sample. You have to follow this soil sample. If you can get that lime out there as soon as possible, do it. Spread it out on the ground, okay, before you spray, before you disc or anything. Just get it out there. Okay, when you disc, when it comes time to disking or tilling, whatever it is, you're going to incorporate that lime into the soil, and that's what you need to do to make that lime break down and get at the roots level. When you do this, you need to, when you're disking, you need to add your fertilizer and disc that into the ground as well. Therefore, it's in the soil, it's at the roots level, it's not sitting on top, which makes it susceptible to runoff. Spread that fertilizer, Smooth that ground out with a drag harrow, a fence, a tire, whatever it is. Smooth it out, okay? Spread your seed. The larger the seed, the more it has to be covered up. So if you're spreading soybeans or buckwheat or cowpea, whatever it is, it needs to be covered up. So you're going to have to either lightly disc all that back in the seed. You can actually disc it and it'll incorporate it into the soil, and then maybe drag it or whatever it is, but it has to be covered up. Now if you're just doing like smaller seeds such as clover, chicory, alfalfa, a lot of times you can drag that out, broadcast that right on top, and just simply drag over it really lightly, and you'll have a beautiful food plot. Guys, that's all there is to it. You have to think of soil to seed contact. If you have compacted soil such as clay or whatever it is, you're going to have to incorporate things in there to break that soil up. Tillage radish, disking it up to break it down and get more organic matter in there to help decompact, if that's even a word, to uncompact the soil, and it'll allow that root structure to grow in there, because if it's compacted, you'll get a root, the roots will come down, they hit the hard pan of the soil, clay, or whatever it is, and it J-roots out to the side, and it can't dig down to get the nutrients. So you have to incorporate this stuff into the soil. Good soil to seed contact, and guys, you'll have a beautiful food plot. Just follow the soil sample, lime, fertility levels, whatever method that you have to break that soil up, get it disked up, tilled, plowed, dragged, whatever it is. And I'm telling you, it's that simple, guys. When you start getting into these planting buckwheat at a certain time of year or a certain crop, and then you have to time it exactly, to crimp it in order to kill it, and spray it again with glyphosate to kill it again, and all these chemical applications, you don't need to do all that. I'm telling you, I have 700 videos on my channel of food plots, and I have beautiful food plots every year. So can you. Follow the traditional method of disking, tilling, plowing, and it doesn't fail, right? I haven't had a fail. So think of that. Think of weather conditions, rain, get an adequate moisture, and you'll have success. Any questions, leave a comment down below. I'll see you guys on the next video. And if you guys have any more questions, give this video a watch right there and subscribe to our channel. It's greatly appreciated.